An expungement is a proceeding in a criminal court that starts once a case is closed. Specifically, what an applicant is asking is for the court to close and/or seal someone's criminal record. Here in our technological era, it's really important to take this extra step after your case is closed, because that way, when you go on a clerk's website and type in your name, no records would appear if, in fact, the case is closed. This is specific because it helps with education goals, it helps with employment, and it also cleans up your record, because we all know nowadays everybody can find stuff on Google and Yahoo and things to that extent. It will clean up your internet presence and remove any aspects of criminal connections. It's important to note that with an expungement, you have to start by making a filing to the court. Specifically, you make that filing by asking the court to seal your record. What you need to do is first ask, are you eligible? If you've been convicted of a misdemeanor offense, you have to wait 1 year from the conclusion of that case. If you've been convicted of a felony offense, it's 3 years from the conclusion of that case. So there's time frames that come into play. You also have to determine, is that conviction eligible? That's where having a competent and resourceful attorney can tell you, yes, the conviction that you have is in fact eligible, and now you have met your proper timeline, or no, unfortunately that conviction is not eligible. The other option sometimes that happens is your conviction is eligible, but your time frame hasn't run. So you want to make sure that you're dotting all your I's and crossing your T's, because you don't want to apply when it may be considered too early, and you also cannot apply if it's not an offense that is sealable under Ohio law. What is good is that expungement law is always changing. In the past 2 years, we've expanded it more, so it's not as though it is just one time of an offense. Now we take into account an eligible offender as opposed to a first-time offender. We also look to being able to have more than one misdemeanor conviction, and you can be more expansive with that. The benefit of an expungement is that it will close it off from the court proceedings in terms of the record. It's also important to note you don't have to have that conviction in order to make this application. If you have a finding of not guilty, you can automatically request that the court seal that. Remember, if there's a finding of not guilty, the whole idea of innocent till proven guilty has run its course, so that no longer needs to follow you with your record. The other aspect is if the case is dismissed for whatever reason, then what you do is you can immediately ask the court to seal that record. You have the right for that interest. It is important to note that even if you meet all of the requirements, it's the right conviction, it is the proper time frame, you have to file with the court and the judge is going to order a hearing. This gives the prosecutor's office the ability to object. If they object, it's not automatic that the court's going to deny the application. They have to start weighing factors. You, as an individual who has completed whatever the court has required, whether that be fines and cost, whether that be probation, whether that be a term of incarceration, once the case is closed, has been considered to pay your debt to society. Where the prosecutor's office tries to make a balancing effect of, if your case is sealed, does that outweigh against the justice for the public? That's for the judge to decide. And what happens at the hearing is the prosecutor's office does not have to file that objection. If they don't file it, then the judge takes the application and determines, are you eligible and have all the criteria been met? If so, the judge can order that the record be sealed. If the prosecution objects, then what happens is a hearing is held. Typically it is oral arguments unless a judge will say, we need something written, and that's where an attorney will come into play. What you need to do is have someone who can assist with that, so when a judge asks, why is this person's record needing to be sealed, a proper argument can be made. It is important to consult with an attorney when talking about an expungement, because it's not an automatic proceeding. There are requirements that need to be met, and an attorney can tell you if it's premature that you're making this request for the court, and also if you're not eligible to make the request for the court. One of the most important things before speaking with an attorney about this is check to make sure you don't owe any fines and costs to the court. That traffic ticket that you may not have paid or have a balance on, you want to get that taken care of, because the court would deny your expungement. If you have a little bit more left in that restitution or the fines to the court, get that taken care of, because you don't want to hire an attorney and then get to a hearing and find out you owe that outstanding balance. It's best to come to the court with zero balance and then let your resume and meet the criteria to get that sealing of the record.